The Aeneid is an epic poem in Latin by the Roman author Virgil. It was penned over a 10-year period beginning in 29 BCE and published just after the author's death at the age of 50 in 19 BCE. Not much is known for certain about Virgil, but it seems he came from northern Italy and was shy, retiring, and often unwell. He died of a fever. In 31 BCE, Octavius's victory over Mark Antony ended several decades of civil unrest in Rome. Octavius became the Emperor Augustus, and the Aeneid is partly a consequence of Virgil's admiration of him. Aeneas, the story's hero, is presented as Augustus's distant ancestor, and the Aeneid is partly an attempt to do for Augustan Rome what Homer had done for Greece, provide it with a heroic, divinely populated foundation myth. In many ways, it's an imitation of Homer. Firstly, it's an epic poem and it's written in the same metre Homer used. It consists of 12 books, the first 6 dealing with Aeneas's voyages, which resemble the Odyssey. The rest dealing with his battles in his new country, which resemble the Iliad. But the resemblance is more than structural. The Aeneid begins just after the Iliad ends. Both Homer and Virgil agree that Aeneas is a Trojan hero, the son of a human prince and the goddess Aphrodite, Venus in Virgil's story. In the Aeneid, he escapes from Troy as the besiegers destroy it, then takes the oceans, fated to found a mighty new city. Just as in Homer, the goddess Athena helps Odysseus reach his destination, so in Virgil, Venus helps Aeneas. There's a visit to the underworld in both books, and a hostile deity. In the Odyssey, it's Poseidon. In the Aeneid, it's Juno. And both Odysseus and Aeneas are temporarily waylaid by attractive, intelligent women. Part of the purpose of the Aeneid is to explain some of Rome's history. Most of the first part of the book is taken up with Aeneas' stay in Carthage in North Africa, where he marries Queen Dido. Then the god Jupiter reminds him of his duty to found a new city, and Aeneas leaves. Dido, filled with desolation and rage, publicly burns herself to death and entreats her subjects as she dies to preserve her hatred forever. That's supposed to be why, between 264 BCE and 146 BCE, Rome and Carthage went to war 3 times, ending with Carthage's complete destruction. Interestingly for Virgil, however, Rome already had a foundation myth in the story of Romulus and Remus, twin boys, the result of an unwanted pregnancy, suckled by a she-wolf, who agree to found a new city on an unused stretch of land, and who become rivals. Romulus kills Remus, but since his city doesn't yet have a population, he invites all and sundry. It fills with assorted dubious outsiders, but they're all men. In order to secure a second generation, they abduct some women from a neighbouring community, provoking first a war, then a truce. As foundation myths go, it's not exactly flattering. Fratricide, a community of rejects, and gang rape. By contrast, the Aeneid preaches traditional conservative Roman values. Pietas, a Latin word that means altruistic devotion to the gods, to one's family, and to one's social obligations, military valour, respect for authority, and patriotism. Romulus and Remus do appear in the Aeneid, but in sanitized form. Descended from Aeneas, they rule Rome together. It's exactly the sort of thing a Roman emperor would have loved, and Augustus did love it. In 19 BCE, when Virgil knew he was dying, he ordered that all manuscripts of the Aeneid be burned since it was still unfinished. It does end rather abruptly. Augustus countermanded that order and insisted that it be published with as few changes as possible. Virgil revolutionized Latin poetry. As well as the Aeneid, he wrote a collection of 10 poems on rural themes called the Eclogues, and a 4-part poetical guidebook for running a farm called the Georgics. All 3 books are soon being taught in Roman schools. Over time, he developed a reputation as a seer and as the embodiment of human knowledge. Anyway, that's the Aeneid, Homer for Romans. It's rare for an imitation to become as highly regarded as the originals, especially when the originals are already thought to be exceptional. But Virgil seems to have pulled it off.